On paper, he ticks every box. Jerry Chun-Shin Lee was born in Hong Kong, raised in Hawaii, and he was an army veteran. He was also fluent in Mandarin. He joined the CIA in 1994, and he handled sensitive operations in Beijing and Tokyo. He ran covert assets. But by 2007, something broke. Lee's career had stalled, and he leaves the CIA. He quits, disgruntled, then moves back to Hong Kong. But the CIA took notice. An ex-agent who had a top-secret clearance, he had really sensitive information about Chinese spies, and now he's left, disgruntled, and he's moved to a Chinese-occupied territory. It's not a crime, but it is suspicious. So the CIA did something bold, deceptive, and kind of brilliant. They set a trap. They create a fake job opportunity with a big salary and reach out to Lee. But there's a catch. To get the role, he had to attend an interview on US soil. Lee takes the bait. August 2012, Honolulu, Hawaii. Jerry Lee lands, checks into a hotel, and everything seems normal. Except it isn't. The FBI is already there. Operation Honey Badger is waiting, watching. As soon as Lee leaves the hotel room for the day, agents move in, and a court-authorized warrant. They searched everything, and they hit the jackpot. Hidden in his luggage are two small black notebooks, not too dissimilar from what I'm holding here. The first one was a 41-page datebook. The second one, a 21-page address book. Both have handwritten notes, detailed handwritten notes, put in there by Lee, and both are deeply dead. Inside, there were true names of CIA assets with phone numbers, operational meeting locations, and details about covert facilities. A gold mine for foreign intelligence. But that wasn't all. Agents also find a thumb drive, a USB. Forensics dig into it, and buried deep there is a deleted document, which had a breakdown of CIA officers, mission timelines, and sensitive ops. This was top secret stuff. The FBI photographs everything, and then they vanish, before Lee even returns. He doesn't know it yet, but he's in trouble. But capturing the traitor wasn't the end of the story. It was just one piece of a complicated puzzle. A puzzle that John Rudy had tried to partly solve years ago, but that only needs it. 1 year after evidence was found in Jerry Lee's hotel room, Operation Honey Badger made another shocking discovery. The CIA was still using those dodgy chat websites to communicate with informants. They had spread to China. It's suspected that Iran communicated with China, showing them how to find these websites. Once China had access to the websites, they could track Chinese informants, and then hunt them down with deadly precision. The ticking time bomb had exploded, and the CIA had made the worst bust possible. Finally, 7 years after Reedy first noticed it, they scrambled to shut these websites down. But there's something I didn't tell you. Not all of these 20 informants in China use these websites to communicate back with the CIA. Top-tier informants had other, more secure ways of communicating back with the CIA. So could it have been a mole that gave these people away? Well, that's where we come back to Jerry Lee. By 2013, the US government had the pieces, the notebooks, the thumb drive, but in espionage, evidence isn't everything. They still couldn't prove Lee had given it all to China. They needed him to confess it. And Jerry Lee was no amateur. He was trained by the CIA, so he knew how to lie, how to evade, how to stay silent. Through 4 rounds of questioning, he held the line, but on the 5th, he cracked. Lee confessed to receiving task keys and direct orders from Chinese intelligence officers. He admitted that he created the classified document found on his drive. On May 1st, 2019, Jerry Chun-Shin Lee pleaded guilty to conspiracy to deliver national defense information to a foreign government. He knew exactly what he was doing. And on November 22nd in the same year, he was sentenced to 19 years in federal prison. In the end, Operation Honey Badger did catch the mole, and they also discovered the communications hack that led to these informants being caught. So you might say, job well done, right? Well, whilst Jerry Lee's name was splashed across news headlines, there really wasn't a lot of publicity about the failure in these communication systems. No one was held accountable for the dodgy implementation, leaving little password in the source code. No one was held accountable for leaving these sites live and letting them spread to areas where they shouldn't ever have been used. Definitely no one was held accountable for ignoring the whistleblower, John Reedy, and ultimately firing him and kicking him out of the agency. But accountability in espionage is complicated. Intelligence agencies like the CIA prefer to remain in the shadows and operate in secret for fear of leaking unnecessary information to their enemies. That information then can be used against them. Yet secrecy comes at a price. We may never know the names of these 20 informants in China that risked their lives to bring back information to the US. And some of them actually paid the ultimate price with them. Their sacrifice means hidden, their names. Should the CIA have held people accountable for this at least? Or is secrecy just the cost of doing business? I'd love to know your thoughts, so let me know in the comments below. Speaking of accountability, Israel's spy agency Mossad was never held accountable for the shocking crime they committed in Dubai in 2010. If you're interested in that story, you should watch my video on it right now.